Wow, that reminds me of Julio from This Fool. Was that inspired off your natural inclinations? Oh, yeah. Julio's all like, no. Your stomach is feeling bad. You shouldn't go to the big fight today. It's like,
sorry. We're talking about all these crazy stories. How was it writing for This Fool? That's a great show, by the way.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes. Fantastic.
100% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
How'd you land the gig?
So it's the character Julio. It's based on the guy who plays it, Chris Estrada. He created a show that's based on his life growing up in South Central. And he was like a codependent kind of like dude who grew up in in South Central and works at a nonprofit. As his cousin just got out of jail. So it's those kind of stories where it's like he gets caught up in situations like
like the second episode.
Hey, man, you don't want to do this, man.
This is so great.
The children are watching.
Not for the children, no.
Thugs for hugs, man.
Thugs for hugs.
No, my favorite line was I want a knife. I want to feel it.
Exactly.
That's my favorite line.
People love that kid, Junior. Like, they go crazy. Like every.
Well, he's a kind of big actor, huh?
Is he?
Yeah. He's done other projects.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense because usually for a kid, like kid actors, they normally, but that guy killed. Like he really knocked it out of the park.
Do you take Do you take real life experiences, maybe not specifically like the ones with JD, but like do you find that your life experiences make it into the show as well?
Well, yeah, I think because we in the writers we kind of all write together, and we all just kind of pitch
bounce out ideas.
So it's like when stuff like that, like when let's say something like a house party, like we all like kind of like we're talking now, like we're like, oh, this happened to me, and then and then we kind of just collect through the stew. We just kind of like. Is there
kind of like a direction you need to go though, since like the creator of the show, maybe he wants it about his life.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you write it about him without knowing everything?
That's a good question. Yeah. So the creator, Chris
First good question of the day.
The creator, Chris Estrada, and the showrunners, like they come with a plan, the vision. Right. They're like. Yeah. These are the characters, and these are the general direction we want them to go. Like we know they want to do X, Y, Z by the end of the season, and also there's sort of the transformation or like the challenges, and then just kind of they have a broad plan, but they have a clear direction, and then from that we can just the writers and the writers, we all get together and like, all right, well, maybe this idea will fit into that and blah blah, and we just kind of and that's sort of so there is they come with their plan for sure, and then we kind of try to help however we can.
When you make a show like that, do you plan out each episode on its own, or do you film like one big story and then just separate it by episodes? Is that
like storytelling? Like is it all? I think like for this season, I think they had a general direction of like where they wanted to end up, but then there was also space for like some episode, like a couple episodes where it's like doesn't affect the rest of the season. So it's both. It's both serialized and just sort of episodic, where it's like it's a combination of both. But yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
I just want to give a shout out to the West Coast authenticity. It's little things like in the first episode when the main character Julio is sitting, I think he's by a bus stop, and there are these black men dressed in purple, and they're giving this big speech about the black man is the original man, and the Asian and the Native American are all his children, and I was like, that's the Black Hebrew Israelites. I know those guys. You know what I mean? Like, was that a Bay Area guy that came up with that? Oh my gosh, was that you?
I'm a huge fan of the first time I saw them, like it was years ago. I was in Minneapolis, and I was doing comedy, and I think I was just walking around and I saw them at a bus stop, and it was like one of the few times I've actually gotten like starstruck, where I'm like, oh my god, I had seen it's one of the best things to go on like a deep dive on YouTube, just like where they're just like it's class. It doesn't get old. They're just yelling at people, talking shit.
I know someone you would love. We'll talk about Yeah, so you were like starstruck seeing them for the first time.
Oh no, they were and they're just as good live. They're
looking at them in their natural habitat. You're like, oh man.
Yeah, just because that's why they stand there, they preach, and then talk shit. And what a life.
One of my favorite things, they played a lot in the trailer. Whose idea was it when he backed up and then he almost hit dude's car, and then he just like fuck this and just drove through the fucking like lawn and shit.
Yeah. That's in the pilot. That's in the like right at the start. Yeah. I think that. Yeah, I think they because they wrote the pilot. It's such a good depiction of like you immediately know what kind of guy this guy is.
Exactly.
Right.
He'd rather fucking ruin his lawn than
get into conflict.
Yeah,
with
get
those
into
guys.
conflict. So like right off top, you know what type of guy this guy is.
Yeah.
Right.
How much like of what you write gets put on the show for you, like you personally?
Like percentage wise.
Like
What's your split?
Well, because I've heard of some writers that like maybe one line gets put in,
Right.
one thing gets. Do you see a lot of? Is there a lot of your stuff up there?
Yeah, it's hard to measure how much, but it's because we all
like scenarios or dialogue,
Yeah. And we all write it. It really is like the writers' room is like this. Like we just sit around and we all pitch, and so sometimes it's my stuff, or sometimes it's a combination, or sometimes I'll say something, and someone adds in a tag that's better.
Right.
Or so it's like I think all the writers, we don't really feel that territorial because it's like it really helps all of us if the show is good.
Of course.
It's like a stew.
Yeah.
So is the writing room a big room, or is it like how many writers are there on the show?
Yeah,
There's like
square footage. No.
Yeah, that's it.
I think there's
What's
like
the color on the wall.
5 or 6.
Sorry.
Like 5 or 6 staff writers, and then like 4 showrunners, and then like a writer's assistant, script coordinator. Like I think in the actual room there's like 10 to 12 of us at any time.
Okay, is that big considerably?
I think that's pretty standard. I think, I don't think that's too big or small. I think that's standard. Yeah.
Have you ever thought about directing an episode? Because I know you have directing chops.
Oh yeah, do I?
You directed one of Gaspar's projects.
Oh yeah, I did. I hold a. Yeah, I should add that as my reel.
You should.
Yeah. I would love to. I don't. Yeah, I feel like I have so much more to. I'm still learning TV writing, but like it would be great. Yeah.
Is that an option that you might potentially have?
I would definitely. I mean,
you have a green card now.
Sky's the limit.
Now that you have a green card, you can direct episodes on Hulu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I that's something I've been. Yeah, I would love to learn. I will learn more about first, and then figure out how to go about it. Yeah.
Would you want to make your own show?
Yeah. I mean, because this is the first time I've worked like on a scripted comedy where it's like a storytelling. I've never really done storytelling. Like I've done doing stand up. You know how stand up, like you just write jokes and then I mean sometimes you write like monologues, but like writing like a 20 to 30 minute. I've never done that, and so it's for me. It's been a learning. And now that I've kind of gotten some grip, like understand. I would like to develop some original ideas. Some.
Having experience on having experience on this show would that. I mean, with that you could go to write at Jimmy Kimmel or anything like that. Is it the same style?
It's different because it's late night. It's more like jokes. Yeah.
So you got to stay pretty relevant. I mean, like,
it's topical. It's a faster turnaround.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know. I'll do it.
How long does it take you guys usually to write an episode?
5 minutes.
Yeah. To break an episode, like to figure out like together like what the beat by beat what the episode's gonna be. It usually takes us. If we're doing great and it's a pretty easy, it takes us a couple days just to like. Okay. And then sometimes we'll struggle and like bang like we don't know where to go with the story or how to end it and sometimes that'll take like close to a week and then we're struggling. So if it takes that long, we're like, all right, well let's go to another story and come back to this.
So generally, I mean, I don't know how fast the entertainment business really works like that, but a week doesn't sound that long either.
Right, because it's
for anyone else, a week to have an episode out.
Right, and that's like after a couple of days, we will, if we're successful, we'll have like a pre-outline where essentially we literally write out every scene, and then it gets assigned to one of the writers who goes by themselves, writes out the outline, and then writes out the script. And so that's sort of like the general like. Collectively, we all write every episode up to the outline point, and then they write, and then individually we
fills in the meat.
Yeah, and then after that it becomes rewrites. And
I was gonna say, how often are you guys revising the scripts?
We rewrite at every step. So someone gets assigned the outline, they write the outline, and then we reread it, and then we each
another idea comes in.
Yeah, pitch. We keep pitching. Okay. and trying to
And then after that, you guys look at the dailies as they used to do back in the days. Is that a thing?
That's more in production.
Okay.
That's in like when they actually shoot it.
Okay.
I think.
But you guys don't look at.
No, we're not in. We're done by the time we're done. It's production starts.
Okay.
Yeah. So we don't like when we finished writing it, and then we were done. I think we were done by December of last year, and then they filmed it, and then I didn't. By the time we finished in December, I didn't see it till June.
Okay. Oh.
Because they had to shoot it and edit it. Yeah.
When did you start writing for the project? So you ended in December. Mm-hmm. When did this journey begin? So how long did you have to come up with
the writer's room started, I think, July or like June or July of last year. Yeah.
I remember we hung out right
6
before
months.
you started.
6 months, yeah.
I remember we hung out right before you started writing this.
Yeah.
Wow. So it took you like a year to get it out to what would come out last month?
It came out or early August.
Early August?
Yeah.
Wow. So it took about a year from beginning to start the writing rooms to now. And are you guys working on
season
Can you say if you're working on season 2 or is that sorry.
I'm writing on. We're writing season 2. Whether or not it hasn't been officially greenlit, that should be announced, or whether or not it'll be announced soon.
Okay. Yeah.
But we're writing it. Yeah, the season 2. Yeah.
Season 2.
Can you believe the Voice Party has had merch this whole time and we neglected to tell anybody? T-shirts, hoodies, bath mats, wall clocks, throw pillows, even mini skirts. We will throw our logo on absolutely anything. Click the link in the description below and pick you up some Voice Party merch today.